Hey everybody, Gromos here with the fourth part of the arcade maneuver guide. This time we talk about displacement rolls, and if you have watched my videos before, you might have noticed that this time the video is called only arcade maneuvers and not basic arcade maneuvers. This is because I don't consider those displacement rolls as basic anymore. They might not look so impressive when you do a dry run in a test flight, but consistently pulling them off properly in a real game will need a bit of practice. So, what are displacement rolls? Those maneuvers are pretty much barrel rolls, modified to displace your flight path. So it can, for example, shift your flight path to the side, or you can exit the roll in a different direction than you entered, or a mix of both. I will show you the two most common displacement rolls, the leg displacement roll and the canopy roll. If you have mastered those, you should be able to come up with your own versions tailored to the situation. Well, let's start with the leg displacement roll. This maneuver can be used to get behind an opponent that is crossing your flight path in front of you, or to stay on an opponent that is turning a lot tighter than you, as an alternative to the high yo-yo. Let's imagine, for example, we have an enemy fighter crossing our flight path from right to left. This flight path is represented by this road down there. Now, to get behind this imaginary opponent, we do a leg displacement roll to the right and come down facing about 90 degrees to the left from the original flight path, hopefully on the tail of our opponent. To do this maneuver, you start by doing a barrel roll into the opposite direction of your target's flight path. You use a bit more pitch than in a normal barrel roll, until you are parallel to the new desired flight path, but facing the other way and upside down. Now you just loop down. Okay, let's see how this looks in a battle. When I use this move in a real battle, I do it faster and often black out. But don't worry, I show you the outside perspective from the replay as well, where you can see a lot better. In the first example, I have a bee shooter crossing my flight path. I do a displacement roll and loop down behind him to attack. Let's see how this looks from the outside. Barrel roll to the right until I'm parallel to the new flight path and then loop down on the target. A similar situation in the next example. I am in a shallow dive and a 112 is about to cross my flight path from the right. I do a leg displacement roll to the right and come down behind him, get a few hits. Then I do a high yo-yo and come back down for the finishing blow. Again, the outside view. I think from this perspective you can see quite well how I position myself before I loop down for the attack. Okay then, let's take a look at the second displacement roll I want to show you, the canopy roll. You have probably seen this move in a lot of movies. It is basically a barrel roll that shifts your flight path to the side, but parallel to your original flight path. Like in this example, I'm flying above one road, but I want to fly above the second one to the right. So I do a canopy roll to the right and I'm above the second road. To do this move, you start like a normal barrel roll, but you slow down your roll and pitch a bit once your plane is facing the direction you want to displace to, giving your plane the chance to move a bit in that direction before rolling out. Like with the barrel roll, you also move a longer way in less space when doing the canopy roll, giving an opponent the chance to overshoot you. Now, in the example I'm about to show you, I spot the enemy hurricane on my about 7 or 8 o'clock position, roughly 500 meters behind me. I do a canopy roll, and this has two effects. First, I move a longer way than he is, so he can overtake me, and I displace my flight path to the left to come out behind him. Okay, let's see how this looks in the real battle. I go up pretty steep and I do a wide canopy roll while keeping an eye on my opponent, rolling out behind him and starting to attack. Now let's take a look at the outside view. You can see I have to cut back on the rolling quite a bit to make the distance to the target. Only in the last moment I increase my roll to get into fire position. Well, those were the leg displacement roll and the canopy roll. As I have said, if you train them and get used to this kind of maneuvering, you can come up with your own versions and variants of displacement rolls to fit the situation. This concludes the displacement roll part of this video. As last time, I give you a few more examples of maneuvers I covered in earlier guides. This time I show you a bit more of the barrel roll defense from the first vid, one of my favorite maneuvers. In the coming clip I had a Focke-Wulf 190 behind my Ki-61, some distance away and coming closer. Since I can neither outrun nor outclimb the 190, I turn around to face him, but I have no intention of doing a head-on pass. I go into a offset head-on, and in the last second barrel roll around him, followed by a high yo-yo turn in case he turns, which he does. That gives me a good deflection shot. Now in the second example, my opponent does not turn around, and instead does a diving attack on another target. I would not have the speed to chase him. However, he zoom climbs too steep and loses a lot of speed. This gives me the chance to intercept him. Something you have to be careful about when doing a zoom climb. If there are opponents close by, on higher altitude, you better move away going straight to keep your speed up. Since I am in firing range and still closing, he has no choice but to turn around, giving me an opening for a few deflection shots. While following him down, I see another 109, so I keep an eye on him should he present me with a better target, and he does for a few shots. Then I'm back on the original one. But I notice that I'm not the only one attacking him, so as usual I break off and look for another target. I don't want to risk a collision. So that's it for maneuver guide number 4. I hope it was informative. Thanks for watching, and maybe I see you next time.